friends, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I know tags aren't really like popular on YouTube anymore. I feel like they were super popular back when I started my I started kind of thinking about doing YouTube, but when I really started my Bookstagram, I feel like book tags were all over the place. But I feel like they've kind of fallen off a little bit. But this one, the mid-year book freakout tag, I feel like is one that people still do all the time. And I see it come around this time of year every year. I think I've done it here maybe once. If so, I'm going to go back and look at my videos. And if I did do it, I'm pretty sure, like I said, I did it once. I will link it down below. It was probably a few years ago. But yeah, I'm really excited to participate this year. My reading has been really good this year. My Goodreads challenge is going well, which we'll talk about in a second. And yeah, I figured why not participate this year when I have a lot of options to choose from. My reading's been on point. I have seen other people on YouTube doing their tags already. Gabby Reads was the first one that I saw do it. I think Olivia from Olivia Reads Latte has either done hers or is going to be doing hers. I want to say Gavin from Train Your Gavin has done his as well. If so, I'll tag all theirs below. They are 3 booktubers who I've been watching a lot of recently. So yeah, as far as my reading for the year goes, I thought I would do like a quick stats update, I guess. I was going to go fully into stats and like, not just how many books I've read for the year, but like genres and pages read, all that stuff. I'm actually going to turn that into a Bookstagram post here in a few days. It might be like next week it'll probably come out, because that's a lot of like data together. But right now I'm just going to focus on books read. So for my Goodreads challenge for the year, I had set my goal at 100 books. Last year I think I read like 110, I think. But I wanted to keep it at an even 100. I think that's what my goal was last year too, and I surpassed it. In 2021, I think it was, I think I read like 120 books, so I had a pretty good year that year. I didn't want to set it too high, set the bar too high, and then not meet it. So I figured 100 is a good, even round number to keep it at, something that I feel is attainable, and then if I go over, great. So, right now, we're at the end of June. It is June 30th today. And I have read 63 books. So we are basically a little past the halfway point of the year, and I am past halfway to my goal. So I'm really happy with that. According to Goodreads, I have 14 books ahead of schedule in order to reach my goal. So far it looks like I'll probably reach that goal in November sometime, maybe end of October, which is awesome. This month has definitely been a little bit slower reading wise. So I think I'll probably have less books that I'm ahead come July, but that's okay. I'm happy with that. July is summer weekend coming up, so that should give me several books read in July. So that should help me catch up a little bit there. And yeah, I read 63 books so far. And I've actually only had 3 DNFs, so I'm really happy with that. Last year I had a significant amount of DNFs, because I was really in the mindset of like, if I'm not enjoying it, what's the point? And I do have that mindset this year, but I think this year I'm more willing to just put a book aside and maybe come back to it later. So if I stop a book, I decide, is this a book that I will come back to, or is it a book that I know that I don't like and I'm not going to come back to and I'm never going to pick up again. So I kind of make that decision. If I know I'm never going to read it again, I have a DNF like shelf in Goodreads. The book goes in that shelf and I don't really think about it again. If it's one that I was somewhat enjoying, or I feel like I would like, but maybe I'm just not in the right headspace, or I'm just not feeling it right now, I'm not feeling that genre right now, whatever the case is, then I will just put it back on my want to read shelf on Goodreads, and I'll come back to it whenever I come back to it. So 3 hard DNFs this year, not bad. And yeah, so it's been a pretty good year so far. I think, like I said, I will definitely hit my Goodreads challenge, which is awesome. So yeah, welcome to this video. I hope you enjoy this. These are always fun to film, and I love watching them, so I hope you guys enjoy this. And yeah, let's get right into the video. Okay, so let's get into the actual book freakout tag now. I do have the questions over on the side here, so if I'm looking over here, that is why. I'm also going to be putting the covers for the books up here. Almost all of these are ebooks or audiobooks I've listened to. That is the majority of what I read. So I will add the covers up here so you can see what I'm talking about. There are 14 questions. So yeah, let's get right into these. That is easily In the Lives of Puppets by T.J. Klune. I knew I was going to love this book. I've loved the other two books I've read by T.J. Klune. Like I said, definitely on that top list of top books for the year, for sure. Best sequel we've read so far in 2023. I'm going to use multiple books as the answer for this. For me, it's going to be the Throne of Glass series. From the fourth book on. The first few books, I think they're good, but they're just kind of starting to ramp up the story. You're just starting to get to know the characters. And I feel like from, I don't remember if it's Queen of Shadows and then Air of Fire, or Air of Fire, I think it's Air of Fire and then Queen of Shadows. Those two books is really where the series started to ramp up for me. And now I'm on Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms, doing the tandem read of both books. And I have become completely invested in this world, in these characters. I love the slow burn between Rowan and Aelin, and all the kind of side pairings and couplings that are happening. I can't wait to get to Kingdom of Ash and find out where this is going to go. I'm loving this whole series so much. Then the third question is, new release you haven't read yet but want to. So this is going to be Hellbent by Leah Bardugo. I have it. I own it. I got it I think the week it came out. I got it new from Book of the Month. But I haven't gotten to it yet. I keep wanting to reread Ninth House first, because I vaguely remember what Ninth House is about, but I really want to reread so I can be fresh and familiar with the story before I move on to the next book. I know everybody's already read this already, but I keep putting it off. I want to listen to the audiobook of it, and I keep putting it off for other things, but I really want to get to Hellbent soon. Okay, so this is going to be twofold. I have two books. The first is House of Roots and Ruin. This is the second book in the series after House of Salt and Sorrows. That book was super good. I loved it, the fairy tale aspect of it, the darkness, just the whole story. I think they're all sisters. The siblings within the story, going into a different world, kind of like portal magic. Really enjoyed it. I definitely want to do a reread before House of Roots and Ruin comes out. That comes out July 25th. I applied for an ARC of it. I'm hoping that I'll get it. Really looking forward to that one. But honestly, the biggest release that I'm looking forward to this year is Dark Air by C.S. Pacat. This is the second book. I don't know the name of the series, but the first book is Dark Rise. That was my favorite book of last year. And I would need to do a reread of that as well. So looking forward to Dark Air. I love C.S. Pacat. So unfortunately, that for me is going to be Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I was looking forward to this one so much. I read Babel earlier this year, and it was good. I didn't love it. It was a little bit too in-depth, too long for me. It was good, but I didn't love it. But I've heard so many good things about R.F. Kuang, about the Poppy War, which I have not read yet. I was really looking forward to this book, and I did like it, but there were parts of it, the end of the story, I think the end could have been done so much better. And there was kind of a supernatural element that was kind of brought into it, that I didn't like. I thought was kind of pointless. So I was really looking forward to this, and honestly just kind of fell flat for me. Okay, so that is going to be Legends and Lattes. I didn't go into this expecting much. I know a lot of people were raving about this book and how much they loved it. I don't really like, or I haven't found, I guess, a cozy mystery that I really like. Again, I'm more plot driven, and I like faster paced, high stakes type books. And so I think cozy books are usually slower, low stakes, maybe not as much plot, more kind of slice of life, everyday life type books. So I didn't think I was gonna really like this, but I loved it. This is probably my second favorite book of the year after In the Lives of Puppets. I loved the romance. I loved, maybe because it was in a coffee shop, and I love coffee. And it's my dream to own a bookstore / coffee shop. So that's why I loved it so much. But I loved the characters. Again, it had that found family dynamic, so that might be what it was. I love a good friend group. I loved it. So that's going to be Ashley Herring Blake. She is the author of the Bright Falls, I don't know if it's just called Bright Falls series, I don't remember, but she wrote Delilah Green Doesn't Care, Ashford Parker Doesn't Fail, both of which I read. I read Delilah Green last month and read Ashford Parker this month, and then Iris Kelly Doesn't Date. It comes out in October, and that's another book for the latter half of the year that I'm so excited for. I'm really loving these books. I don't know if Ashley Herring Blake has written other books other than these, if she's a relatively new author or not, but she's new to me, and I really love this series, and I'm definitely looking forward to any other series that she has or may have coming in the future. I'm really excited to read more of her books. So that's actually going to be Iris from the Bright Falls series that I was just talking about by Ashley Herring Blake. I love all the characters in that book, or in that series, but I'm so excited to read Iris's book from her perspective. I love her personality. I love how she's so loyal to her friends, and she's such a good friend, and she is very crass and in your face, and she doesn't hold back, doesn't care what people think. And I just love all those things about her. It's the complete opposite of me. And I definitely have a crush on her. I love her so much. Okay, so that is definitely going to be Nurse Ratched from In the Lives of Puppets. Definitely one of my new all-time favorite characters. I guess she's a robot, but she was hilarious. Honestly, one of the characters that had me laughing the most. Honestly, all the characters in the Lives of Puppets could fall in this category, but Nurse Ratched, her sarcasm and wit and quick wit and dry sense of not dry really, but just how quick minded, I guess, and witty she is in the book, and her comedic timing. Honestly, Nurse Ratched could be a stand-up comedian, and it would be hilarious. I love her so much. Like I said, one of my new all-time favorite characters. Okay, so for the next two questions, I actually have the same answer, and that is In the Lives of Puppets. This book made me feel all the things. There were parts where it did make me tear up. I cried. I laughed. It made me happy. I couldn't devour this book quick enough. I love it so much. I already want to do a reread of it, which is how I felt about The House in the Cerulean Sea. As soon as I finished it, I wanted to read it again. I love that book just as much. T.J. Klune has absolutely become one of my new favorite authors, and has become an auto-buy author. I can't wait to see what else he writes. So that one's actually going to be a pretty recent one. It's going to be, the book is called A Man Called Ova, which I just read I think I finished at the beginning of June, but I read most of it in May. The movie adaptation is called A Man Called Otto with Tom Hanks. We watched A Man Called Otto first. We saw it in the theater. I love Tom Hanks. I'm a huge Tom Hanks fan. He's been a staple of my whole life, my childhood. Forrest Gump is my husband's favorite movie, and he watches it at least once a month. So we're definitely a Tom Hanks stan household. So as soon as that movie came out, we went and saw it, and I didn't realize that it was a book at first written by Frederick Bachman, who wrote Beartown. And when I found out, I knew that I wanted to read the book as well. So I did. Like I said, I read most of it in May, and finished it in June. And I really enjoyed the book as well. It was basically the same storyline from the movie. Some of the nationalities were changed of some of the characters, the side characters, the neighbors and stuff. But I really enjoyed both. Both were very good. I think the movie adaptation was very true to the book, and I think Tom Hanks did a great job. It is, it can be triggering. Both book and movie can be triggering. There's talk of there's grief and suicide and loss of a child, miscarriage, disability rep, chronic illness, just treatment of the elderly. So many things. There's a transgender character as well, which the book went into that a little bit more than the movie did. But I really enjoyed both, and I would definitely watch I'm called Auto again. I actually watched it for the second time a few weeks ago. Okay, so I had a hard time picking this one because I haven't really gotten very many new books this year. Most of my books come from a library or Kindle, so I haven't gotten very many new books this year, but one that I did get was Babel. I think the cover for that book is beautiful. I love the dark color scheme, the like blacks and grays and browns. Really love the cover for that book, so that's one I went with. Like I said, I haven't really acquired very many new books this year. Okay, so honestly, I have no idea. There are so many books that I want to finish by the end of the year, that I need to finish by the end of the year. I bought Gleanings, the latest book in the Arc of the Scythe series, which is one of my favorite series. I love that series by Neil Shusterman. But before I read Gleanings, I want to do a full reread of the Arc of the Scythe series. I think there's 3 or 4 books. I want to reread those. I want to, like I said, reread Dark Rise before the next book comes out. I want to reread House of Salt and Sorrow. I want to reread Ninth House. A lot of rereads for me throughout the rest of the year, but there are tons of books still that I want to get through. I do still have, as far as my Goodreads goal, like I said earlier, I have 38 books left to reach my Goodreads goal, so I want to at the very least do that. And yeah, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching this, for checking this out. Let me know if you have read any of these books down below. Let me know if you agree with any of the things I said. What is your most disappointing book of the year? Because I feel like that one might be a little bit controversial. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already.